It's now time for another Broken Neck Radio interview.
Hey guys, this is the Horde here from Broken Neck Radio. We're hanging out with Turner from WoodHawk here. These guys are playing in Victoria, British Columbia tonight with Dead Quiet, the Hazy Tones. They're super cool guys. I'm going to do a little bit of interview with them. Keep listening to Broken Neck Radio and the Horde and the Deliverance of Doom Metal Show on Wednesday nights from 8 to 11 o'clock. Here we go. This is WoodHawk with Turner. So Turner, how does the new album Beyond the Sun, how is it different from the first album of your debut?
I'd have to say there's a lot more evolution. The first album was it was something that Mike and I kind of wrote off the tail end of one of our old bands before even actually Kevin joined the band. So it had like a couple session drummers kind of do all the drums to it. And so it wasn't really, in lack of better words, a band. It was more just kind of what Mike and I had kicking around. Whereas I think the Beyond the Sun is the three of us in a room, and it's really that natural experience that is Beyond the Sun. So
cool. What kind of sound were you guys going for on Beyond the Sun?
We didn't have any sort of direction, anything we really wanted to achieve from it. Working with someone like Jesse Gander at Rain City Recorders was just a great experience, and we liked everything that he did, so anything that he would put out was probably really awesome.
Cool. Okay, so what thought process went into writing new material for Beyond the Sun? If you could tell us more.
It's kind of started as a collection of a bunch of different songs, but as we wrote about 15 or 16 songs for the record, and then whittled it down to the 9. So we really never had like a direction in particular that we went right down one path. It was kind of our collection of stuff over the last 2 to 3 years.
Cool. Okay, well, you pretty much already answered my other question on for Beyond the Sun. You had Jesse Gander do some guest playing and Kevin Keegan doing some vocals. What kind of experience was that like to have him on the album?
Working with Jesse in general was just amazing. He's so professional. He's so fast at everything he does. And so we kind of knew from the beginning, because we'd heard him play record or play organ on other people's records, that we really wanted him to do it, and he was down. And Kevin Keegan, who's been a good friend of ours for a long time, we were in band. We kind of touched base with him ahead of time and kind of said, hey, we tried to write a part for you, but it didn't work out. And he said, oh, well, how about you just send me some demos and I'll figure something out. Sent him demos. The next day he showed up at the studio and sang his part, and the rest is history. Cool.
Okay, so also what I'm finding these days is lots of bands are going back to using vintage recording instruments and vintage instruments. Do you guys use any of this kind of stuff on Beyond the Sun?
We have some vintage amps and instruments and all that kind of stuff. We all play kind of like older gear. But in terms of the recording stuff, a lot of it's still done digital. It's done on a very old, I think it was a 70s Neve board that Rain City has. So recording on an old board, but it's still processed through digital and through Pro Tools and all that. But yeah.
Okay. So the album Rain City, Beyond the Sun was recorded at Rain City. Recordings in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. How was it working with those guys?
It was amazing. We kind of started talking to them about 6 to 7 months before we went there, shooting demos back and forth with Jesse. And he kind of really helped just produce the album and make it what it is. And cool. It's an amazing studio. They were so accommodating to us, and great people.
Awesome. Okay, so you obviously, Turner, nobody else is here. Somebody else wants to say something. No, he's remained a mute. He doesn't really say much. He's the bass player and he hides in the back. So what are some of your musical influences, and how do they affect your playing style?
My personal musical influences kind of range from everything from old 70s to what's coming out today. I like to I think we in general like to kind of write within the moment and not in a particular style or kind of base anything off anyone else. If it sounds like that person or that band, then sweet, I'm glad we could try and pay tribute, but it was never meant to go that way. It's kind of just wherever we are at that time. Our influences kind of, we wear them on our sleeve, but our sleeves are heavily tattooed by some of us.
Cool, perfect, okay. So another question here is the stoner doom movement, stoner rock, doom metal, sludge metal. It's been gaining a lot of speed in the last few years, and what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because you guys are playing the music, you're in the scene, you're driving around, hanging out with everybody, meeting a lot of other cool people. Tell us more about that.
So right off the bat, we're not big stoners. We don't even consider our music very much like stoner rock. We kind of call ourselves desert rock, yes sir, hard rock, kind of in that kind of style, not coming from that genre. I think the stoner rock doom kind of thing is the very cliched. It's the it thing right now. and it's kind of, that's the label that everyone wants, and everyone kind of, I mean, Black Sabbath wrote one song, Sweet Leaf, and everyone kind of jumped on board once Black Sabbath became popular again. But I mean, for us to be within the genre is great. It's a very supportive genre. We're glad that it's doing so well, but we still kind of consider ourselves just a rock band.
Just a hard rocking band traveling Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So obviously you guys are on tour for Western Canada. I don't know if you guys are going back east at all to Eastern Canada. Planning to?
We're gonna try and go in the spring. We tried to go, like, we were looking to try and go in the fall. It didn't really line up as well as we would have planned. So we're gonna try and go in the spring as well as some other countries and stuff.
So you guys are planning on maybe going down to the States and over to Europe?
States is a little expensive for us. I wish we could say we're gonna try and go to the States sooner, but UK and Europe is next on the list, and that's our spring, summer next year.
Right.
In a perfect world. That's what we're trying to do.
So again, how has playing music positively influenced your guys' life? Being able to do this? Do you have jobs? Do you not have jobs? Do you drive around from bar to bar and just live off of 2 beer tickets and a few bucks and get some scrap food at the gas station late at night?
We all have full-time jobs. We all work the 40, 60 hours a week kind of thing. Music kind of, for us, is always like myself and Mike, our bass player, we've been doing this since we were like 16, 15, just kind of playing the bands together. Mike actually taught me how to play guitar when I was 11 years old. So it's just kind of been a hobby for us for a long time. Beyond the Sun is like, and even in general, WoodHawk is the first time that music has ever kind of given us something back. Like, we didn't really expect the response that we got from it.
Yeah.
This is kind of the first time that we've jumped to shows and people have really been coming out, and like kind of
I've been playing you guys all week for my girlfriend. She hates it because I've had the new Hope song about Star Wars on rerun all week long. Obviously I played you guys too on my Deliverance of Doom metal show, which you can also download that a few days after the live show. If you can't be at the live show, it's an experience. You can take me with you at Podomatic and the Horde and Broken Neck Radio. So are you guys signed to any sort of record label, or are you just doing it on your own?
For this one, it was just DIY. We wanted to do it all ourselves. We are almost out of records and CDs. We didn't expect to run out as fast as we did with all the European sales and everything else. So we might shop it around for repressing, but if not, we'll just pay for it ourselves. I mean, if the money's coming to you, why give someone else a cut?
Yeah, exactly. You guys have any plans on actually looking for a record label? Or just figure doing it yourself as long as you can?
I would like it to be do it yourself for as long as we can, because I mean, like, if we're the ones producing it and doing everything, we own 100% of it. We keep 100% of the profits. And I know label has a lot more they could offer in terms of booking, a lot of other kind of stuff, and more distribution. But as of right now, like, I'm really content with being do it yourself and kind of keep it that way. But we like to take things slow, play our cards, and see what happens.
Cool, sounds good. So what are the futures of the band in terms of what you guys are doing? You're just going to keep doing it? You're going to become professionals and not have to work anymore?
In a perfect world, we won't have to work anymore, but I also like my job. I like what we all do. I don't know, I like that every day-to-day 40-hour work kind of week. But as of right now, like, our long-term goals are we're going to try and tour outside of Canada within the next year. We're going to take our summer off and try and work on another record. And just kind of, I mean, yeah, we really like being at home, like being with family and other kind of things. So I mean, like,
right.
we kind of say, like, our band is, not to put it down, but it's secondary to a lot of our life at home.
Right. Family matters.
Yeah, we didn't expect it to kind of get the recognition and the support.
So you guys definitely are, for sure. So, who does the artwork for your albums? Is that you guys or somebody else you want to tell us about? Their name?
For Beyond the Sun and a lot of the artwork that we have on our shirts, it's Mark Kowalchuk. He's a guy out of Calgary. He also does a lot of work for In Flames out of Sweden. Right. And yeah, he's a buddy of ours. He never had his artwork on a record, on a CD, and although he tried for a bunch of In Flames records, and they unfortunately got declined, but we kind of knew right from the get-go after having shirts by him and stickers and all that we really wanted him to do it. So right as soon as we were done recording, we got all our mixes, we sent him the full record and said, hey man, listen to it. If you get inspired by anything, let us know. Cool. Met up with him, and he had what is now the Beyond the Sun cover as the first thing. Yeah. And we just kind of said, like, holy crap, that's the best
one. It's the perfect one.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. No tweaks, nothing. Like, he just handed it to us, and it was amazing.
What is your favorite album on the song?
My favorite song on the album?
Yep. Oh, sorry. Yes. It's reversed.
I have two. Can I pick two?
Say whatever you want.
All right, I'm gonna say whatever I want. Beyond the Sun and Foresee the Future. I say Beyond the Sun because that song was something different than before it.
Right.
Before it got recorded, kind of was laid out a little differently, all that kind of stuff. And once we got in with Rain City and Jesse, he really put his touch on it and really helped us as a band make it what it is now.
Right. Cool.
And same process for See the Future. We really built up a lot of kind of layers in that, and kind of that was to me the most fun I've had recording was that song. Just standing in a room, like letting my guitar feedback for no reason other than layers on the song. And so those are layers and layers, and it's a lot of a cool process. So I like the way those two songs really came alive.
Awesome. I like Magnetic North. That's a good one.
Oh, everyone likes that song. It's funny, you came out tonight, and we haven't been playing that the whole tour. We put it on tonight, and we're like,
no, it's fucking. I like that song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we didn't expect that to be the song that a lot of people liked. That was kind of a surprise.
So again, there's one song on the album called "The New Hope." If you're Star Warsian enough to actually listen to the lyrics of songs these days, you will notice that it's all about Star Wars. So obviously the owner of Broken Neck Radio, he's a complete Star Wars freak, and he loves Star Wars to death. That's all he watches all day long. So tell us about the song The New Hope and how that came about, and writing about Star Wars and subliminally implanting it into the album so that only people that actually listen to the whole album, of course, and listen to lyrics carefully understand. Tell us about it more, Turner.
A New Hope, like, we had the riffs all laid out. We kind of like that whole like kind of flam tremolo sound with the opening riff. And I had the joking idea, not expecting the other guys to go for it, I had the first line, "There's been a disturbance in the forest."
That's how I caught on to it, by listening to it about 3 different times, and then hang on. Did he just say what I heard he said?
Yeah.
Yes, he said there's a disturbance in the force. And the song's called The New Hope. It's like, oh, hit play 10 times.
Yeah, it kind of just started like that, and then we talked about which direction we wanted to take it for that. I said, we should call it A New Hope. Kind of just played off that for a while. We had a bunch of different lyrics kind of all over the place. And then I said, we'll kind of play off the idea, like the opening credits and the Force as a overall being. And it kind of just, it really fit what that song was and what the way the riffs went. And yeah, I mean, again, another song that we didn't expect people to relate to as much as they do.
Well, obviously, May the 4th was 2 days ago. Obviously, I had that song on rerun about 1,000 times on the Deliverance of Doom metal show and other shows that I do. So we're going to say goodbye to these guys. They're super cool. You can check them out. They're out of Calgary, Alberta. Obviously, you'll be able to see the Horde's little interview on Broken Neck Radio. You can also tune in to me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 11 Pacific Standard Time. The Horde's always there for you. What is he playing? Dirty, sludgy, doomy, metal, stoner rock, desert rock, high desert rock, low desert rock. Places where there is no sun, and interstellar music. So thanks, guys, for sitting down and talking with me, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from them.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on our bus.
Cool, guys. Yes, I didn't get molested on the bus. It's fine. It's safe. Girls, I follow them around. Good night from the Horde and Broken Neck Radio here.